Today, Canada is planning to ban most foreign home buyers. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, one latest post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. It's interesting looking at other countries and how they're dealing with the question of housing affordability. Canada has a somewhat similar market to Australia, and in some ways they are dealing with precisely the same issues that we are. So it was interesting reading this from Bloomberg that Canada will ban most foreigners from buying homes for 2 years and also provide billions of dollars to spur construction activity in an attempt to cool off a surging real estate market. The measure will be contained in the Finance Minister's budget on Thursday. The move signals that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is becoming more assertive about taming one of the developed world's most expensive housing markets, and that the government is growing more concerned about the political backlash to inflation and the rising costs of housing. Home prices in Canada have soared by more than 50% over the past 2 years. The market saw a record monthly increase in February as buyers acted ahead of rate increases by the Bank of Canada, taking the benchmark price of a home to around $869,000 Canadian dollars. The foreign buyer ban won't apply to students, foreign workers, or foreign citizens who are permanent residents of Canada. I don't think prices are going to fall as a result, though I do think it takes away at least some of the competition in what is the most competitive market in Canadian housing history. Simeon Papaleas, founder of real estate investment firm REC Canada, said, "I don't think a 2-year band-aid is going to have an impact on what's a fundamental lack of supply. Several billions of dollars in the budget will be allocated to building affordable housing and to help local governments update their systems to allow faster construction of new properties." Yet the government plans other measures that could potentially boost demand, ostensibly to help new home buyers. Freeland will introduce legislation that allows Canadians under the age of 40 to save as much as 40,000 Canadian dollars for a home down payment within the new tax-exempt vehicle. And during last year's election campaign, Trudeau's party also proposed a ban on blind bidding for houses, the prevailing system by which offers are kept secret when someone is auctioning a home. Blind bidding has been blamed for accelerating price gains in a hot market, with properties sometimes selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars over the asking price. Some believe that secret bidding forces each potential buyer to offer as much as they can. The industry body for the country's real estate agents has now backed away from its defence of the practice. The Canadian Real Estate Association announced a pilot project on Wednesday to display offers in real time on properties listed on its own listing website. Multiple offer scenarios have become increasingly commonplace in today's real estate environment, Michelle Bouquet, the association's chief executive officer, said in a statement. Canadian property buyers and sellers seek greater confidence in the process. The pilot will begin in selected markets this summer, the press release said. Now, 2 points here. In a way, the issue of foreign buyers is a very small part of a much bigger tapestry of issues, as it is in Australia. The number of foreigners buying property in Australia has dropped dramatically, thanks partly to COVID, and also thanks to the fact that China, for example, is making it harder to bring money out of China for property transactions here. Secondly, Canada deals with some very significant issues around money laundering through foreign buyers bringing money into Canada and using property to launder it. Same in Australia. We have the same issues, and we know that quite a few of those international transactions are actually illicit, but we don't have the regulatory processes or the checking processes either here or in Canada to deal with it. So my closing thought is this: if you really want to deal with some of the issues about housing affordability, you need a portfolio of different strategies being adopted, and it would include dealing with foreign buyers and also dealing with money laundering and also the supply side and also some of the bidding practices, etc., etc. And don't forget also the other big problem, and that is that the lending standards are too loose both in Canada and in Australia. People have got too big a loans, they're too leveraged, and of course with interest rates now on the turn, that ultimately may well be the thing that blows the whole property bomb up. But in the meantime, we will see politicians in different countries around the world pick little elements to try and solve a problem that won't work but it looks good politically. And by the way, expect more of that in Australia too in the upcoming election, because I'm sure that housing will be one of those things that people will debate ad infinitum, but of course without great purpose. Because, frankly, there isn't a real appetite to solve this, because the only way to solve it is to allow property prices to come back to more normal levels, and that would mean a correction of 30 to 40%. And in both Canada and in Australia, that would be an almost unacceptable result, not least because of the banks and their whole leverage position. Most people who already own property would hate to see the values drop so low. The wealth effect would be really negative, although of course it will allow more people to get into the market later. This is an intractable problem that's been created by 40 years of bad policies, and you aren't going to solve it with just tactical solutions. So the bottom line is this: you need a fresh way to think about the property problem if you're going to solve it. You can't just put the odd sticking plaster and string solution together. 2 years isn't long enough. Banning foreigners won't have much effect. And frankly, until politicians wake up and understand the strategic issues that need to be addressed, not much is going to change. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.